Please be seated. Good morning. I have the honor of convening the 91st commencement of the University of New Haven. As Chair of the Board of Governors, it is my pleasure to welcome you to this joyous occasion. Today we celebrate the achievements of our graduates and recognize their years of hard work, commitment, and self-sacrifice. We also applaud their families and friends for their support and encouragement. Please join me in recognizing the New Haven County Firefighters Emerald Society Pipe and Drum and the UNH Jazz Combo. Would you please stand as Christina Tomarelli, an English and Communication major and a member of the class of 2015, leads us in singing our national anthem, and Martin J. O'Connor, alumnus, campus minister, and member of the faculty, delivers the invocation.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
The Irish poet Seamus Heaney writes in one of his translations, "A light appeared and the whole place brightened, the way the sky does when heaven's candle is burning brightly." Well, looking out at you, our graduates of 2014, we cannot help but think that heaven's candle is indeed burning brightly. Your days and months and years with us have come and gone. You have done so much, meant so much, given so much to our university. You have blessed us with your presence. And so as you take your leave, we offer you our blessing in the name of all that we hold sacred and holy. And so we pray. Good and gracious one, the source of all that is true, the giver of purpose and meaning to our world and to each of our lives, bless this day and every day. Open our eyes to the mystery of your presence among us. Help us to grow in our love and service of you and one another. Bless those who graduate today. May they flourish in their lives and find satisfaction and meaning and joy in all that they do. Help them and each one of us to remember that we are all a part of something much larger than any one of us. Bless all of our students, our faculty, our staff, and all who support our university in any way. Keep us all always faithful to your summons to follow your truth, wherever it may lead, because in the end, this will bring us back to you, the source of all that is good. We make our prayer this day and every day to a tender and a loving God. Amen.
I have some of the best parts of the script, this being one of them. Please be seated. Thank you, Marty, for those powerful words, and Christina for that beautiful rendering of our national anthem. Good morning, graduates of the class of 2014, parents, families, faculty, friends, staff, alumni, and members of the Board of Governors. I am proud and privileged to celebrate the accomplishments of our graduates today. They have come so far, and it is fitting that we honor their discipline and their commitment. Let me briefly share a few of their stories to illustrate the passion, drive, and creativity of our students. Christina Kling, a biotechnology major, becomes the first person in her family to graduate from college with a near 4.0 GPA. And if you could, I'm going to recognize several students. If you could please hold your applause until I'm finished, and then we'll recognize all of them. Christina is a graduate of our honors program, where she completed a thesis that focused on finding a treatment for Lyme disease. And she also served as a mentor for local high school students and worked as a lab assistant. She has been accepted to a Ph.D. program in biomedical sciences at Cornell University. Donovan Lindner, who receives a master's degree in industrial and organizational psychology, earned 3 internships during his less than 2 years at UNH. He also was involved in the work of the IDEA Council, which promotes inclusion and diversity on campus. Donovan has already launched his own consulting business that focuses on career development and college planning. Emily Dean, a graphic design and marketing double major, was an intern in the Career Development Center for 3 years, worked at the Seton Art Gallery, studied in Prato, Italy, and was heavily involved in local community art projects. She will begin her career as a graphic designer with Big Truck Brand in Lake Tahoe, California, where I'll be sure to visit her. Ryan Weston, who receives his master's degree in community psychology, presented fascinating research last summer at a national conference about the important role an academic advisor plays in the success of a graduate student. He earned a 3.9 GPA, and in the fall, he will begin pursuing a PhD in sociology at the University of Central Florida with the goal of becoming a college professor. And finally, David Janowski, a music major. He's one of you, obviously. A music major who served as president of the class of 2014. Earlier this spring, he created an inspiring video as part of the It Gets Better project, a national program supporting LGBT youth around the world. He has taken part in theater productions and even competed the last 2 years in the World Irish Dance Championships. This fall, he will begin pursuing his master's degree in education at UNH. Would all of these students please stand and be recognized? I want to congratulate all of you as future alums of the University of New Haven. I've been here 10 years, as many of you know, and I've yet to obtain a degree, so you're doing better than I am. I would now like to ask all our students to please rise and turn to your parents, spouses, family members, and friends to say thank you. Thank you, well done. I would now like to ask our faculty and staff in the audience and on the stage to please stand and be recognized by their students and guests. I know from my numerous interactions with members of the class of 2014 that many of you had had very unique and transformational experiences at UNH during the time you've been with us. Some of you have studied at our campus in Italy, as well as in numerous other countries. Others have engaged in significant research and creative activities with faculty, and yet others have done substantial service in communities locally and around the world. What I hope our entire graduating class shares is a deep sense of commitment to improving your own lives, and more importantly, the lives of others. If you opened your minds and hearts to new ideas while you have been at UNH and allowed our faculty to cultivate your humanity, I am confident you will lead the kind of rich, meaningful, and informed lives that those we are honoring today have led. At this time, I would like to recognize our 4 distinguished guests who will be receiving honorary degrees from the University of New Haven today, and therefore are honorary members of the class of 2014. John Carroll, our speaker, Shelly Frank, Mike Gianoni, and Diane Atwood Johnson. I would also like to recognize the chair of the university's Board of Governors, who you've just met, Phil Bartels, along with the other members of the board in attendance, former board chair Sam Bergamy Jr., and members Gail Brecky and Michael Fideli. Joining us today as well are the Honorable Tony Harp and Ed O'Brien. Tony is the mayor of New Haven, of course, and Ed is the mayor of West Haven. And as always, I want to recognize the First Lady of the University of New Haven, who does so much for this institution and our students, my wife, Anna-Mona Schweitzer-Kaplan. Now I have the honor of introducing our keynote speaker, John Carroll. Mr. Carroll is the former editor-in-chief of the Los Angeles Times, the Baltimore Sun, and the Lexington Herald Leader, and is one of the nation's most respected and recognized journalists. He served on the Pulitzer Prize Board from 1994 to 2003 and was its chairman in 2002. Mr. Carroll is now chairman of the News Literacy Project and a member of the advisory board of the Investigative Reporting Workshop at American University and the Journalism Advisory Board at ProPublica. It is my great pleasure to welcome John Carroll.
It's a gorgeous spring day, a day for closing one chapter and opening another, and I can't tell you how happy I am to be part of it. This is important. You have accomplished something that takes perseverance over a period of years. I'm sure you are feeling both pride and gratitude. As President Kaplan indicated, I've been in the working world for many years. Today, I would like to tell you a few things that I learned in the course of those years, things that I didn't understand when I was graduating from college. Perhaps they will be useful to you in a practical way. Perhaps in a few cases, they may even help you recognize your better selves and to take action on the basis of that insight. That is my hope this morning. When I was young, I used to think there was a moment in life when a person became an adult. After the headlong rush through childhood and through adolescence and through college, something would click like the shutter of a camera, and suddenly you'd be an adult. After that, you wouldn't change much. That's what I used to think. Of course, it doesn't really work that way. Most of you, I suspect, are still trying to figure out exactly who you are. I don't say that critically. Far from it. I certainly didn't know who I was at the time I finished college. Last year, I returned to my college for my 50th reunion, and a classmate, nearing the end of a distinguished career as a medical professor and surgeon, told me about a crucial moment that put his life on a different path. In his case, it happened not at the end of college, but at the beginning. Each college has its distinguishing features. Here at New Haven, I'm aware one such program is experiential education, which strikes me as a very good thing, particularly in times like these. At my college, a distinguishing trait was the honor code, which was taken quite seriously. My old classmate, the surgeon, told me he'd gone to a very competitive public high school, a dog-eat-dog place where many of the top students were willing to do whatever it took to elbow their classmates aside and get into a top college. Academic cheating was widespread, and my friend, as he confessed to me 50 years later, was right in there with them, cheating up a storm. When he got to college, he was handed an honor code booklet, and he attended serious discussions of it, not just with professors, but with upper-class students. As this was happening, he was thinking back on his behavior in high school and telling himself directly and simply, I am not going to be that person anymore. He wasn't either. From then on, he didn't cheat and he didn't cut corners, not because he was afraid of getting caught, but because of a promise he had made to himself. It was a moment, he said, that opened the way not only to professional success, but to peace of mind. His was a rare case, one in which change came early and suddenly. I myself was a largely frivolous person during my college years. For those of you who, like me, have not proved to be honor students, and for those who, like me, are closer to the bottom of your class than to the top, I bring good news. Your opportunities are just beginning. I left college haunted by self-doubt. I didn't know if I was capable of doing anything very well. Unlike the present day, jobs were easy to get then. I became a newspaper reporter covering small towns in Rhode Island. I covered high school graduations, fender benders, and dog bites. Afraid of failing, I worked far harder than I ever had in school, and I discovered that I liked working hard and was fascinated with this particular line of work. One reason was that I tend to be more curious than the average person, and being a reporter gave me license to go around asking questions. I also liked writing stories, roughing them out, rewriting them, and, if deadline permitted, rewriting them again, and finally seeing them in the paper. I could see the result of my labor, just the way a bricklayer or a cabinet maker does at the end of a day's work. So the work was pleasurable, but there was also a higher reward. I discovered that fortunate aspect of the job a bit later when I was a low-ranking editor at the Philadelphia Inquirer. Two young reporters who worked for me got interested in a murder case in which a man who happened to be mentally handicapped got convicted of throwing a firebomb that killed 5 dark-skinned people from Puerto Rico who had moved into an all-white neighborhood. He confessed to the crimes and was sentenced to 5 life terms. The reporters were skeptical. Eventually, they were able to prove that the confession had been beaten out of him. He was vindicated and released from prison and paid a good deal of money for having been falsely imprisoned. He was also, the 2 men who actually committed the crime were caught and convicted and sentenced to long terms. Later, the reporters determined that beatings were a routine part of homicide investigations in Philadelphia, and that the standard tools one would expect in solving crimes, such as fingerprints, were almost never used. Nearly all the murders in Philadelphia were solved by confessions. As a result of the reporters' work in demonstrating this, 2 police detectives went to prison, and the homicide ceased its illegal and unconstitutional violence. I'm telling you this not to take credit for the work, because it was mostly done by the 2 reporters, but I had a part in it too, and for the rest of my days, I will always take satisfaction in having done something meaningful in Philadelphia. In my line of work, such a story provides the highest level of reward. Now, in just a minute, I'm going to give you 6 lessons that I learned in the working world. These are things I didn't realize in college. Many of them I learned the hard way. Perhaps they'll be of some use to you. But before I do that, I want to mention the case of Jeb Stuart Magruder. This story does not have a happy ending. You may have noticed recently Jeb's name in the obituaries. He was one of the aides to President Nixon who went to prison in the Watergate scandal before all of our students here were born. A week ago today, he died right here in Connecticut. A long time ago, as a reporter in Washington, I knew him slightly. And one day I was in his office in a building less than a block from the White House. He was young-looking, nice-looking, clean-cut. I think you'd have liked him. As we were talking, the phone rang. Instead of asking me to step outside of the office, as a more seasoned political operative would have done, he took the call with me sitting right there. It was about Watergate, which was just beginning to come to the public's attention. The person on the other end was clearly agitated, and Jeb was trying to appease him. It was not a comfortable conversation. I didn't learn enough from listening in to write a story, but it was clear that the White House was very worried about Watergate, despite the way it was dismissing it as nothing in public. Jeb Magruder's problem was that he was too eager to please. His bosses were older and more seasoned, and he did what they wanted him to do. It was hard to do otherwise, of course, when one of those bosses was the President of the United States. So he went along with them, step after fateful step. Up till then, his career had been golden, extremely promising, but suddenly it was over. He ended up in the penitentiary, and after he served his time, he led a life of regret and penance. Some years later, when I was editor of the newspaper in Lexington, Kentucky, he arrived in town as a Presbyterian minister. We remembered each other and became friends to a degree. I felt bad for him. He really was a decent guy, but his whole life had become an apology tour. I was sad to read about his death. How different his life would have been if he'd had something inside himself, some honor code of his own that defined who he was and what he was willing to do, and importantly, what he was not willing to do. That's Jeb Magruder. And now, as promised, I would like to give you 6 lessons I learned along the way. Lesson number 1, you will make big, mortifying mistakes, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. When I was a young reporter at the Baltimore Sun, with few skills and even less self-confidence, I was instructed to write an obituary of the Deputy Police Commissioner. There was only one problem as I saw it. The Deputy Police Commissioner was not dead. The city editor, an overbearing man, as city editors tended to be in those days, explained that newspapers often write advance obits so that when a person does die, his whole life story won't get crudely slapped together on deadline. I said okay, and asked how I should start. You call him up and interview him, the city editor said. I was taken aback and said, I can't just call up and say, hey, I'm writing your obituary. The city editor was scornful. Don't tell him you're writing his obituary, he said. Just say, we're updating our files. So I did. By reading previous obituaries, I made a list of the facts I needed to get from him. I was nervous, figuring the old cop would see right through me. Then I called him up and said, we're updating our files. To my amazement, he went along with it. As I went through my list of questions and as he answered them, my self-confidence began to rise. And by the time I neared the end of the list, it was soaring. I knew I was on my way to becoming a great reporter. Then I got to the last item on my list, the last thing I needed to know, which I'd summarized in a single word: survivors. That was where I blew it. Well, Colonel, I said jauntily, I've got the spelling of your wife's name, and I've got her maiden name. Now all I need are the names of the other survivors. I still cringe when I think back on that moment. It was by no means the only mistake I made in those days, nor the worst. Years later, when I became editor of the Los Angeles Times, however, I could say to myself that if there are 10,000 mistakes a journalist can make, I've already made 9,000 of them. Largely because of that painfully earned education, things went well in LA. You will make mistakes too. They will be bad for you in the short run and discouraging and sometimes humiliating, but also good for you in the long run. Be resilient. Swallow the bitter medicine. It's for the best. And if you don't find yourself making mistakes, you probably aren't challenging yourself enough. Lesson number 2, master the art of candor. This was a hard one for me. Today, if I were assigned to write the old colonel's obituary, I wouldn't do what the city editor said. I wouldn't mislead him by saying we were updating our files. Instead, I'd tell him the truth. I'd tell him I was writing his obituary, and I'd say it face to face, not over the phone. And I would take the trouble to explain why it's important to his family and to the community that it be done accurately and well. It's uncomfortable sometimes to deliver certain messages. It gets easier, however, if you do it with tact. Tact is an acquired skill. If you tell the truth both directly and tactfully, you will seldom cause offense. People appreciate straight talk, and especially if in the process you acknowledge their feelings and their point of view. Instead of damaging a relationship, candor often deepens it. It's good for you personally, too. You'll sleep better knowing that you've laid all the cards on the table. Lesson number 3, choose your boss even more carefully than your boss chooses you. All bosses are not created equal. Some are wonderful. Whatever successes I've had would never have happened without a few good bosses, one in particular who took a deep interest in me. To this day, I look up to those early bosses with gratitude. Few bosses, however, rise to that level. You've got to be active. You've got to go and find them. You can't count on them coming to you. Some bosses, you'll discover, are indifferent to employees. Some are tyrants. Some are crooked. Some are emotionally unfit to supervise other people. Some simply aren't very good at what they do. You will encounter such bosses. It's inevitable. Poor Jeb Magruder chose bad bosses and stuck with them, which was his undoing. When you realize you've got a bad boss, you may be tempted to ride it out day after day, showing up at work and doing your best. Don't. Find another boss. The right one can change your life for the better. Lesson number 4, which is related, find a good place to work. In the uncertainty of this economy, which I'm sure is weighing heavily on many of you, I'm aware that your choice of jobs will be limited. Nevertheless, you should go into the job market with certain tools for identifying good places to work and bad ones. Don't just go through the interviews and think you've done the job. Visit the workplace. Visit the actual physical place where you will be working and see whether it's happy and open or guarded and morose. Talk with the people who will be your fellow employees. If they're cautious about talking with you, don't work there. If they're receptive, ask lots of questions. Is it a good place? What's the boss like? Is he or she good at the job? Ask about integrity. Ask about the treatment of young people. If you get unlucky and find yourself in an unhappy workplace, be aware that you are in the presence of an infectious disease. You may be tempted to stick it out, hoping things will change. Know this, a bad workplace is more likely to change you than you are to change it. Almost imperceptibly, it can grind you down over time and cause you to lose touch with your better self. Treat a bad workplace like a fire. Get away as fast as you can. Lesson number 5, be a lifelong learner. Over the years, I've learned that some people are fast starters and some aren't. Some are tortoises, some are hares. The hares are quick to learn a few tricks of the trade, but then at age 30 or so, in my experience, they start to fade. And in their 50s, they're still riding on those same shop-worn tricks, and they're bored and stalled in their careers and marking time to retirement. In my first editing job, I supervised a dozen reporters who were just out of college. If I had predicted then who among them would be the most successful, I'd have been wrong. One of them, who didn't particularly stand out, later proved to be the best of the lot, a classic tortoise, surpassing all the others by winning 2 Pulitzer Prizes for reporting and serving as the ranking editor of 2 large newspapers. To this day, now that he's well into his 60s, he approaches his work with humility. He is still learning and growing. He sees himself as a student of the game, not its master. Be like him. Be a tortoise. And finally, lesson number 6, surround yourself with a bodyguard of friends. Facing life's challenges is doubly hard if you do it alone. You have friends, and your friends want to help you. They include family members, classmates, colleagues at work, and not least, your professors here at New Haven. Nothing is more affirming to a professor than a student who comes back and asks for advice. As you leave this university, do not sever the connection. Some people are too proud or too shy to ask for advice in sensitive matters. Don't be that way. Your friends want the best for you. Such people can be your bodyguard as you face the challenges ahead. You are only alone if you choose to be. And now, having stood perhaps too long between you and those long-sought diplomas, it's time for me to step aside. College graduations are, for me, a moving experience. It's a time of dreams, dreams of careers, dreams of new families, dreams of lives well lived. It is also a time, if I may repeat myself, for clear-headedness on that crucial question, who will I be? Thank you for allowing me to be part of your graduations. Congratulations to all of you, and much gratitude to the parents, grandparents, friends, professors, administrators, and others who made this memorable day possible. Every success to the class of 2014.
Thank you, John, for those incisive and stirring comments. It now gives me great pleasure to award the honorary degrees that they will be presented in the order in which they are listed in the program. Bill and John. And Bill Bucknell, by the way, is the vice chair of our Board of Governors, but some 300 years ago he sat in this audience. He's also a graduate of the University of New Haven.
John, we're updating our files, so would you let me know if we have all the facts correct, please?
With candor.
I have the privilege of presenting John S. Carroll for an honorary degree. The citation reads as follows. John S. Carroll, outstanding journalist, award-winning editor, promoter of excellence in the journalism profession. You have been one of the nation's most honored and admired journalists for more than 4 decades. After graduating from Haverford College and serving your country in the Army for 2 years, you joined the Baltimore Sun, where you covered the Tet Offensive as the paper's Vietnam correspondent. You later served as the Sun's correspondent in the Middle East and in Washington, D.C. Following a stint as a section editor at the Philadelphia Inquirer, you became editor of the Lexington Herald Leader. During your tenure in Lexington, You spearheaded an investigative series of reports titled Cheating Our Children, which exposed flaws in Kentucky's public education system. The Herald Leader won 2 awards for the series, which helped lead to the passage of the Kentucky Education Reform Act of 1990. You returned to the Baltimore Sun as editor for nearly 10 years before directing the news and editorial staffs at the Los Angeles Times from 2000 to 2005. Under your editorial leadership, the Times won 13 Pulitzer Prizes. All told, you directed coverage at 4 newspapers that won Pulitzers in the investigative category. Currently, you are chairman of the News Literacy Project and a member of the advisory board of the Investigative Reporting Workshop at American University and of the Journalism Advisory Board of ProPublica. Your many individual awards include the American Society of Newspaper Editors Leadership Award in 2004 and the Burton Benjamin Memorial Award from the Committee to Protect Journalists in 2004. In 1998, you were named Editor of the Year by the National Press Foundation. Throughout your distinguished career, you have endeavored to promote excellence in the journalism profession. In 2006, you served as Night Visiting Lecturer at the Kennedy School of Government at Harvard University, where you were also a Nieman Fellow. You served on the Pulitzer Prize Board from 1994 to 2003, and were its chairman in 2002. And in 2009, you received the Richard Clerman Award as a mentor of young journalists. John S. Carroll, in recognition of your remarkable career as a journalist and editor, and your dedication to advancing the art and craft of journalism, the University of New Haven is pleased to confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa. Mr. President, John Carroll has been duly recommended by the selection committee to receive an honorary degree from the University of New Haven. I now ask you to bestow upon him the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa.
John S. Carroll, by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Governors, I am honored to confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa. Congratulations.
It is my pleasure to present Shelly J. Frank for an honorary degree. The citation reads as follows. Shelly J. Frank, pioneering restaurant executive, innovative brand builder, dedicated supporter of your alma mater. During your remarkable career, you have held leadership roles in some of America's most popular restaurant chains. As president, CEO, and chairman of the full-service Mexican restaurant chain Chi-Chi's from 1977 to 1986, you led its growth from a single Minneapolis location into what was, at the time, the fastest-growing restaurant chain in the country. During that decade, Chi-Chi's blossomed into an industry leader with more than 225 restaurants in 40 states, Canada, and Europe, earning nearly $700 million in annual revenue. At its peak, Chi-Chi's was the 15th largest full-service restaurant chain in the country based on sales per unit. In 1985, the investment banking firm Shearson Lehman named Chi-Chi's one of the nation's 10 best retail companies. You also developed the Chi-Chi's grocery store consumer brand featuring tortilla chips and salsa. By the mid-1980s, U.S. grocery sales of salsa grew from a virtually non-existent category to the leading condiment consumed domestically. Earlier in your career, you were vice president of real estate and construction at Kentucky Fried Chicken. You also held leadership positions at General Mills, McDonald's, and Burger King, where, as budget director, you created the first cost control system for fast food restaurants. Since retiring, you have served as an advisor for Frank Pepe's Pizza during its expansion from 1 to 7 high-volume restaurants in less than 7 years. In 1983, you were named the Wall Street Transcript's Restaurant CEO of the Year. That same year, you won the Gold Chain Award given by Nation's Restaurant News to recognize bold and innovative restaurant leaders. A 1966 graduate of the University of New Haven, you have remained a faithful and generous donor to your alma mater. Shelly J. Frank, in recognition of your incredibly successful career as an innovative restaurateur chain executive and your continued dedication to UNH, the University of New Haven is pleased to confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Business Administration, honoris causa. Mr. President, Shelly J. Frank has been duly recommended by the selection committee to receive an honorary degree from the University of New Haven. I now ask you to bestow upon him the degree of Doctor of Business Administration, honoris causa.
Shelly J. Frank, by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Governors, I am pleased and honored to confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Business Administration, honoris causa. Congratulations.
Good morning. I am most privileged to receive this honorary degree from a university that played such a large part in helping me achieve my professional goals. I'm sure you've all heard the saying many times, if at first you don't succeed, try again. In my case, truer words were never spoken. When I was in high school in Bridgeport, my mother was told in no uncertain terms that I was not college material and not to waste money on my education, which incidentally my mother didn't have. At first, that advisor proved to be correct, as I entered and gracefully, and sometimes not so gracefully, exited 2 other colleges in Connecticut before fortunately finding UNH. When I entered Maxey Hall, which may have been the only building UNH had at the time, and attended classes there, something woke me up. I became motivated to get and use what UNH had to offer, an education given by teachers with real-world experience, teaching us about real-world situations and challenges. I did take risks during my career, failed several times, and learned from them. I borrowed money to open a pie shop in Norwalk, and even though I worked till all hours, and my wife still dreams about the extra tall banana cream pies that I used to make with whole bananas, it was not a success. There were other bumps along the way, but I can tell you this from firsthand experience. If you dream your dream and work hard and unwaveringly toward your dream, you can achieve what you want. Almost 50 years ago, when I received my UNH degree, a poor kid from Bridgeport, whose first job was cleaning out garbage cans at the Big Top restaurant in Westport, I never dreamt I'd be standing here today receiving this honor. I share this day with the other graduates. This is your day too, and I congratulate you on your achievements and hope you will also look back on your days at UNH with the same degree of pride and accomplishment that I do. And I also hope that you enjoy the good fortune which comes your way, and that as you enjoy the good fortune which comes your way, you all have the opportunity to know someone who will show you the satisfaction you receive from helping others, that is equally important. With those thoughts in mind, I humbly accept this honor, which so kindly is being bestowed upon me today. Thank you.
Thank you, Shelly. Sam Bergamy is the former chairman of the board and also a UNH graduate.
Thank you,
And his
Mr.
name
President.
is on 5 different structures on our campus, as many of you know.
I have the privilege of presenting Michael P. Gianoni for honorary degree. The citation reads as follows. Michael P. Gianoni, distinguished business executive, creative and innovative decision maker, visionary leader. As president and CEO of Blackbaud, you oversee a leading technology company that powers the business of philanthropy for more than 30,000 nonprofit customers around the world, including the University of New Haven. A respected senior leader, you have more than 25 years' experience in technology management. And a tireless leader, you have an exceptional track record of leading businesses that deliver sustainable value for customers, shareholders, and employees. A value coach and mentor who is deeply committed to the development of his people, you are an advocate for corporate cultures that encourage employees to thrive professionally and personally while accomplishing strong top-line growth. A first-generation American, you owe your interest in technology to your father, who entered the United States through Ellis Island and found the American dream as an owner of a successful machining business. Your passion was further fueled in high school when you took your first engineering class. You went on to earn a degree in electrical engineering and business administration, and you are a proud graduate of the University of New Haven Executive MBA program. You showed an aptitude for business from the beginning of your career. As an account executive at Wang Laboratories, you made the President's Club in recognition of sales excellence of your 5 years with the company, and you were one of 35 employees named to the company's Fast Track program. A committed community volunteer, you are a former member of the Board of Directors of the Liberty Health System in New Jersey and the Southeast Massachusetts chapter of the American Red Cross, and you are also a long-standing supporter of veteran services and animal welfare programs. Michael P. Gianoni, in recognition of your successful career as a business executive, your accomplishments as a thought leader in the technology field, and your commitment to the community, the University of New Haven is pleased to confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Business Administration, honoris causa. Mr. President, Michael P. Gianoni has duly been recommended by the Selection Committee to receive an honorary degree from the University of New Haven. I now ask that you bestow upon him the degree of Doctor of Business Administration, honoris causa.
Michael P. Gianoni, by virtue of the authority vested in me by our Board of Governors, I am pleased and honored to confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Business Administration, honoris causa. Congratulations. I have the privilege of presenting Diana Atwood Johnson for an honorary degree. The citation reads as follows. Diana Atwood Johnson, accomplished artist and ardent supporter of the arts, successful business owner, passionate community activist. A member of the Lime Academy College of Fine Arts Board of Trustees for nearly 35 years, you served as chair during a transformational period in the college's history, when it gained accreditation and constructed a new academic center. You played a critical role in forging a partnership between Lime Academy College and the University of New Haven this current year, which has been universally lauded as an historic affiliation that will benefit student and alumni and communities of both institutions. An accomplished entrepreneur, you owned and operated the Old Lyme Inn for more than 25 years. You played an instrumental role in developing and enhancing the hospitality and tourism industry in your hometown of Old Lyme, Connecticut, serving as the founder and past chair of the Mystic Coast and Country Travel and Leisure Council, and as former director of the Connecticut Restaurant Association. Your leadership and business acumen have benefited the boards of several banks. You were a founding director and vice chair of the Maritime Bank and Trust Company, and a former director of the Bank of Southeastern Connecticut. Your passionate volunteer work extends to protecting our natural resources, and you offer your talents as a director of the Trust for Public Land and as a member of the Connecticut Land Conservation Council. Most deservedly, you were Lyme's Citizen of the Year in 2011 for your advocacy work on behalf of the arts and the environment. An avid birder and accomplished photographer, you are a past recipient of the Connecticut Commission on the Arts Distinguished Advocate for the Arts Award. Diana Atwood Johnson, in recognition of your steadfast support of the arts, your fervent efforts to protect the environment, and your celebrated accomplishments as an artist and entrepreneur, the University of New Haven is pleased to confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa. You have been duly recommended by the selection committee to receive an honorary degree from the University of New Haven, and so, by virtue of the authority vested in me by our Board of Governors, I am pleased to confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa. Congratulations.
Mr. President, it's my pleasure and privilege to present this year's Honor Scholars. I ask the Honor Scholars to please rise at their seats. These students who received a medallion at their college awards ceremony earlier this month were selected on the basis of their scholarship, character, and professional potential. They have all completed an honors thesis, a major research project written under the direction of a faculty advisor. Please join me in congratulating this year's Honor Scholars.
As Provost and Senior Vice President for Academic Affairs, I have the privilege of bestowing the awards upon our Hatfield Scholars. The John D. Hatfield Scholars Program was established with the assistance of generous donors in respectful and affectionate memory of our late Provost and Executive Vice President, Dr. John Hatfield. Dr. Hatfield's legacy will live on in the contributions he made to the University of New Haven and in the high-achieving students awarded scholarships in his honor. I take great pleasure in presenting this year's honorees. Please hold your applause while the following students come to the center stage. Members of the class of 2014 who are graduating today are Victoria Galisa and Christina Kling.
Please join me once more in congratulating this year's Hatfield Scholars. And please welcome David Janofsky, who will offer remarks on behalf of the undergraduate student body. David is president of the class of 2014 and is graduating today with a bachelor's degree in music.
Thank you, President Kaplan, Board of Governors, administrators, and other esteemed guests of honor. At this time, I would like to finally say, class of 2014, we finally did it. We are done. But first and foremost, class of 2014, I would once again like to offer a round of applause to all the moms, dads, brothers, sisters, grandparents, and family members, and everyone else who made this 4 years possible. To all of the teary-eyed family members, we owe this one to you. Mom, don't worry, I have a couple boxes of Kleenex back in my dorm room in case you run out. I cannot begin to say how honored I am to stand before all of you and tell you how proud I am of your achievements. Not only have you excelled inside the classrooms, but in clubs, organizations, and beyond the Charter Halls. So here we are, class of 2014. Sometime between 4 years and however many it took, we are finally leaving college. So where do we go from here? The answer to that question is varied by the students who make up this year's graduating class. Many of us know, or at least hope we know, exactly what steps we're taking next. Whether we are heading towards an internship, a full-time job, more grad school, the armed services, or even a semester at the Disney College program, yes, staff, I will be expecting a souvenir. And then others will tell you, we have no idea. The big thing about college is about learning about yourself. And many of us will leave our majors with some vague idea of the job we'd like to get or the business we'd like to start, but nothing more. Wherever tomorrow takes you, I hope you keep your times at the University of New Haven very close to your heart. In our time here at the university, we've seen our teams go undefeated, take conference titles, and make it to the playoffs multiple times. We have spent many nights writing papers, planning events, walking around campus with close friends, and making the moments last. And speaking of making the moments last, you will always remember the time that your class president captured the moment by taking a selfie with his graduating class to make that last memory. So everyone, say smile. Yes, Mom and Dad, and yes, President Kaplan, that did just happen. To go along with more memories, we also put a lot of our time into driving around campus, praying we'd find that parking spot so we weren't late to class. For most of us, the university has become our home through our classes, student organizations, athletics, sororities, fraternities, and many other events. We have found our second family that will always have strong arms around you to pick you up when you fall. We are the class that is known for coming together in many different situations. From the beginning, we started as a close, tight-knit group soaked from the rain in the rec center before we took our class picture. We are also the class that will always keep 3 fellow Chargers in our mind and hearts as they charge through our hearts forever. At this moment, I would like to take a moment of silence in the loving memory of Christopher Harris, Sam Milano, and Sterling Danskin. As a class, we have come together in sadness and fortune. On top of being the class that has become a family, we are also a university that is built on success. In this year alone, we have seen It Gets Better, the University of New Haven edition. We have a music and sound recording student who will be moving to California this summer to work with Disney and Pixar. We have students who have discovered new aquatic species, and we are all going in different directions because of the success that we have at the university. Humans, for the longest time, have been trying to achieve immortality, and the way to do that is to resonate the memories from the legacies we have left behind. Class of 2014, you have made your mark. You have laid the groundwork and the foundation from the tight relationships you've built through your family, friends, organization, and success here at the university. But what is success? It's a mixture of flair for doing what you love and also knowing that that is not enough. You have to be willing to work hard through the battles because I'm going to tell you something all of you already know. The world is not sunshine and rainbows. It is a very mean and nasty place, and I don't care how tough all of you are, it's going to beat you till your knees and keep you there if you let it. Me, you, nobody is going to hit you as hard as life is. But it's not about how hard you can get hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward, how much you can take and keep moving forward, because that is how winning is done. So if you know what you're worth, go and get what you're worth, class of 2014, because you are worth it. As each of us crosses this stage, we will reminisce to fond moments and memories with our friends that will stay with us forever. And when we take that long-awaited piece of paper and hug some of our lifelong friends, brothers, and sisters for what may be the last time, think, if it wasn't for UNH, you wouldn't have some of your most heartwarming and embarrassingly funny moments. Like falling down the stairs of judgment in Bartels, walking around late at night with your friends, lifelong talks with your favorite professors, especially Rachel Anderson Rayburn and Marty O'Connor. And you also would never have the chance to see at USGA the man in charge rip his pants on Friday the 14th. Sorry, buddy, but I love you. But with all jokes aside, my friends, I wish you the best on the newest chapter of your journey. Before we all say goodbye, or more importantly, see you soon, let me leave you with some final words. Life is going to challenge you time after time, and you have two choices. Let it knock you down, or be the champion you know you are. You only have so much time. As you can see, UNH went in the blink of an eye. So don't worry about where you've been and where you're going. Just live in the moment and make the moment last for as long as you can. Stop living the fast life and live the good life. Class of 2014, it's been a pleasure being your class president, and I wish you the best on wherever you go next, and you truly deserve everything that has come to you. Cheers, class of 2014. Thank you.
Thank you, David. And before I introduce our next speaker, I just want you to know I'm a quick learner. Will you all smile for a second for me? So, my wife didn't believe it, or she probably did. My chairman's probably looking for a new president at this moment. I would now like to welcome our graduate student speaker. In case you've missed it, the graduate students are here and the undergraduate students are over here. Donovan Lindner is the former president of the Graduate Student Council, who is graduating today with a Master of Arts degree in Industrial and Organizational Psychology. Donovan?
Thank you. Good morning, Chargers. I was going to do the selfie thing, but they took that from me. Darn. I would like to thank and welcome President Kaplan, the members of the Board of Governors, my family, and of course my fellow graduates of the University of New Haven. Yeah, give a round of applause. It's for you. I am so very excited and humbled to have the opportunity to speak to you this morning. We need to take in this moment because I know for a fact this can seem so surreal, that we accomplished something that should not be taken for granted. And when I say we accomplished, I'm referring to the team of people who pushed us, motivated us, and even funded us through our educational endeavors. For many of us, this journey was not easy, but we had others there to get us through it. As a generation, we have to move away from the I mentality and start focusing on we. Because even as we embark on our career endeavors, there are so many companies today that focus on a team effort. In my time here, I have served in many capacities, from graduate student council president, to committee member, to just being a graduate student taking classes in the Industrial and Organizational Psychology program. And what I learned was that in all these capacities, I relied on a team of people, whether it was for a group assignment or at a strategic planning meeting that would benefit the university community. I realized that everyone brings diverse talent to the team. Occasionally, we run into three types of workers, and I'm sure everyone has experienced this: those who get things done, those who watch things get done, and I know we all have experience with those who wonder how so much got done. One of the amazing things about UNH is its value on teamwork. And despite those differences that people bring to the table, our aims of prosperity and happiness are the same. Even though the journey may be different, the destination is to achieve greatness. Each one of us plays a remarkable role in getting there. I want to leave you with a quote from a great American pioneer. You may know of him, Henry Ford, not to be confused with Tom Ford, of course. He says, and I quote, "Coming together is a beginning. Keeping together is progress. And working together is success." Thank you, and congratulations to the class of 2014. You did it.
Thank you, Donovan, for your remarks. It is now my pleasure to introduce the president of the Alumni Association of the University of New Haven, Mike Ambrose, who received his Bachelor of Science degree in Mechanical Engineering from UNH in 1984. As the president of the Alumni Association, Mike will welcome you to your new and duly earned status as alumni of the University of New Haven.
The last speech. President Kaplan, Chairman Bertels, members of the Board of Governors, members of the faculty, staff, family, and friends, good morning. To the University of New Haven class of 2014, congratulations on completing your degree. You are now part of a community of more than 51,000 University of New Haven alumni, and I welcome you. I offer to each of you that as you complete this important phase of your life and you are preparing for the next, your journey with UNH is really just beginning. I can say this based on my own experience and that of so many other UNH alumni who have already made a lifelong commitment to UNH. For me, the decision to remain an active part of UNH community has always been a very easy one. I have and always will have a deep sense of gratitude and appreciation for the role UNH has played in my life. And I know that many other alumni share that same passion. Even though UNH has grown significantly over the decades, it has retained a cultural DNA that focuses on the individual, preparing each of us to be successful in our chosen careers, but also as people. It is this commitment to the individual that is a pillar of the Alumni Association. And one of the most special things about being the Alumni Association president is getting the opportunity to read about the accomplishments and personal stories of the recipients of our endowed scholarships. Many of these students are graduating today, including Adriana Marino, Alexis Kellogg, Daniel Brophy, and James Flynn, among others. All have amazing stories and bright futures, so I know our Alumni Association is in great hands. For all the graduates today, I encourage you to remain actively involved in UNH and become part of our global alumni network, no matter where you go in your lives and careers, helping our alumni community to grow into a world-class network and provide support and opportunity for all of you. I just know this is something that you'll find very rewarding, and it's actually quite a bit of fun. So on behalf of the more than 51,000 UNH alumni, I offer my congratulations to all of you, especially my daughter Sarah, who is among you today. I encourage you to maintain and mature your connections to UNH as part of your life journey forever. Thank you very much. Bye.
Thank you, Mike. The Provost, Daniel May, will now present the candidates for academic degrees as a group, and the President will confer the academic degrees en masse. Once this has been completed, the respective deans and the associate provost will then present individual candidates to the President. Please hold your applause until all the degrees have been awarded to the candidates. We also request that graduates and their families remain in their seats until the ceremony is completed as a show of respect for the achievement of all of those receiving their degrees today.
Mr. President, I have the honor to present the candidates for academic degrees. Graduates, as we call your affiliation, I ask that you rise and then remain standing until your degrees have been conferred. We have 159 candidates for master's degrees in the graduate school. Please rise. And we have 306 candidates from the academic colleges of the university. The College of Arts and Sciences, please rise. And the College of Business. Mr. President, these candidates have completed their prescribed courses of study, have been examined and recommended by the faculty. I now ask you to confer on these candidates the respective degrees for which they are qualified.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Governors of the University of New Haven, I hereby confer on each of you the degree for which you have been recommended and admit you to the rights, honors, and responsibilities of educated men and women. During the presentation of the diplomas, you will note that a diploma may be presented to a student by a parent or family member who is also a member of the UNH community. This is a university tradition that signifies a unifying of all of our university constituencies. Join me in applauding our standing graduates. Who are almost through the ceremony, but not quite. Please be seated, and we'll bring you up here now to bestow upon you your degrees.
Mr. President, as Associate Provost, it is now my pleasure to present the individual master's degree candidates from our graduate schools.
Nithun Badam. Ming Ming Liu. Bing Yu. Abba M. Hayford. Krishna Bargalve Ogeti. Aksith Mithun. Kyle James Lamprecht. Olivia Powell Lincoln. Lorena Preguli. Gabriela A. Soto. Cheryl N. Bandowski-Grolinski. Sarah Alobade. Tarfal Al-Shamari. Hiba Abdullah Alush. Maria Jacinta Victoria. Denise Stephanie Abraham. Jessica Dorn Williams. Jessica Louise Martin. Yael Mosere. Carla Ricarda Schiller. Yu Ling Ai. Laura E. Smolsky. Alec Jorge Calvo. Mohammed Hassan Abouad. Saad Fa'ad Alko Ali. Vanessa Ann Perry. Samuel Haight. Edine Tomo Bas. Otaniel Reyes. Joseph Criscolo. Dwight A. Dickerson. Marinda Elise Brown. Tone Rana Adive. Callista H. Hutchison. Nicholas A. Brunetti. Nicholas Fenimore. William Bailey. Stephen Taft. Stephen L. Marshall. Virginia K. Oliver. Olga Iris Ortiz. Daniel J. Evangelista. James W. Wynn. Sin Su. Miao Teyan. Ifan Go. Fang Li O. Jia Su. Wenxi Xiaeng. Cheng Chen. Han Wen Shang. Gao Wei Zhu. Stephen A. Munson. Ashley Julia Toffey. Krista May Kennedy. Alicia A. Antolino. Jamie Lynn Friart. Elaine B. Gallis. Shantice Michelle Grant. Elizabeth M. Turner. Jamie N. Dunn. Brittany L. Gachon. Melody A. Legaspi Seals. Sherry A. Spear. David A. Berulin. Michael Charles Drymiller. Nadim Chowdhury. Gregory Dwayne Burnett, Jr. Roger C. Burns. Daniel W. Kraft. Desmond Z. Mong Hao O. Konstantinos Milas. Jose A. Rodriguez, Jr. Jeffrey K. Payne. James K. Lang. Eric W. Hilwa. Angelina Marie Kafora. Magdalena Tronkowski. William Anthony Aloha Jr. Zanchao Cheng. Xiaohao Hong. Rushi A. Wang. Hong Li. Ya-Kun Shung. Martin Meza. Bardsley Monfilston. Brent Eric Simeon. Carolyn Sierra. Elizabeth Ford. John Kevin Sykes. Jonathan J. Hernandez. Brooke Harrison. N. Bosco Scully. Leela G. Phillips. William Isaac Frazier, Jr. Ryan A. Mulcahy. Cho Shu Wu. Devin Ross McGinty. Mary Lou Carelli. Jill Brennan. Alea Yassim Noor. Kathleen Macias Torres. Carla M. Zaratzian. Atika Abdel Fadel. Maiwan Hu. Jing Yang. Chong Ai Shi. Ja'an Saida Saik. Jamie Alexandra Lazarus. Melissa Charmaine Maxine Gittins. Prince Manu. Stephen J. Vidmosko II. Eric J. Farrington. Michael Paul De Pasquale III. Jeremy Libby. Jessica Mary Denon. Mark Douglas Goomis. Daniel Molina. David R. Kegley. Luke Daniel Cruz. Ashley Ann Guerrera. Tiffany Chanel Wynn. Karina Valeria Medved. Ryan Matthew Weston. Bianca Busy. Claudia Viacava Lynch. Beth Deanne Giovanelli. Mary Memoli Gilbertson. Nikesha A. Beery. Chantel J. Garcia. Kathy Michelle Potter. Allison Aurora Buckingham. Donna M. Fagan. Francis A. Corniello. Donovan Scott Linder. Bu Wee. Angela Mingjiao Li. Sibai Lu. Delong Kong. John Anthony Cardolano. Ulysses Acuna. Gate Shafter. Huile Feng. Joseph Anthony Wanuk. Joseph Troy Jr. Brian Bradley Bethel. Geraldine M. Hines Iverson. Susan H. Marino. Sai Ma. Jia Ye Lee. Derry Lee. Livingston Steele Jr. Chinir Elbume Ezikpe. Hamadi Al-Buramian. Sharifa Al-Marhoun. Ilona Musial. Yi Hong. Jiti Yong Chao. Yao Lu. Di Zong. Xiao Yang. Sarah Asad Al-Jawazar. Waoud Hussein Al-Asad. Sir Depthi Kandiraju. Shirisha Neluri. Venkanta Sai Krishna Yenobathava. Yasavi Kandapali. Praveen Kumar Bala. Obaid Abdullah Al-Sabani. Toby Wallace Carberry. Zhang Yuun Shu. Roy Yong Yen. Please join me in congratulating these graduates from our graduate school. Thank you.
By the way, for those of you that want to stop and have an extra picture taken, I apologize, but I've been told to keep it moving. They've calculated it would slow down the ceremony by about 40 minutes, so I apologize if I'm not letting you stop, but we have to keep moving. Julene?
Mr. President, as chair of the Faculty Senate, it is my honor to present the individual candidates for the associate's degree.
Christy Masterakis. Maria Bell. Merlene Theodore. Hannah Collins. Adele F. Afarif Marwa. Katerina Durenberger. Mallory Audette. Jessica Brooks. Brittany Davis. Laura Beams. Please join me in congratulating these graduates.
Mr. President, As Dean of the College of Arts and Sciences, it is now my pleasure to present the individual candidates for their degrees.
Maha Kali Altawerji. Can you pronounce that? Naf Abdul Asalat. Oh, God. Sarah Khalid Assad. Hiba Sultan Bahim. Okay. Sarah Sultan Assad, magna cum laude. Anad Abdullah Assad. Okay. Hassa Turki Assad. Gara Ahmad Al-Saderi. Audrey Myers, summa cum laude. Christina Louise Kling, summa cum laude. Okay.
Victoria Lynn Galika, magna cum laude. Kimberly N. Parrish, cum laude. Lisa Lily Luke, summa cum laude.
Brian James Spangler. Sarah Jane Urbanski. Alexis Ann Hudson. Matthew Haluski. Alice Alexandrovich. Excuse me. Alexandra Page Beckerman. Nicole A. Coutu. Allegra C. Irvin. Ty M. Treisler. Samuel Jonathan Gurr, cum laude. Jody Pinder. Julie Marie Houston. Andrew Thomas McPherson. Yeah, I will. Christopher Bonanno. Ligi A. Maria Curea. Close. Hey. Kimberly Ann Wilshire. Deanna Barba. Amy Jean Havens, magna cum laude. Catherine Edwards, magna cum laude. Caitlin Elizabeth Freckle, cum laude. Tanya Springvall, excuse me. Springvall, excuse me, cum laude. Excuse me. Alyssa Hanlon. Anne Belen Obella. Audrey Elizabeth Cunningham, cum laude. Hey. Cornell Jamal Green. Ross W. Weiner. Isaac Belay Kiefel. Keifel. You want her? Hey, congrats.
Amber Callardy.
We're having too much fun.
I know, you're having too much fun.
Samantha Claire Fancher. Angela L. Putney, cum laude. Crystal Nicole Lopez. Tiffany Yvette Gonzalez. Jessica Bartolotta. Sydney Frill. Kirsten Elizabeth March, cum laude. Jacqueline Brooke Canefield, magna cum laude. Desiree Hansen, magna cum laude. Denzel S. Russell.
Dana Bonnell, cum laude. Emily Ann McGinty. Alessandra Maria Makowicki, sorry. Aaron Levi Deitch, magna cum laude. Stacy Elise Frizzle, magna cum laude. Okay. Tyler Kenneth Carpenter.
Christopher Robin Arminio, excuse me.
Third is the charm.
I can do that. Justin Eric Tosh. Thank you. Gabrielle L. La Torre. I'm good for a minute. Charles A. Capozzo. Richard William Epp III. Ada Jasmine Udaya. Thank you. Edwin Carvajal. Go ahead.
Haley Elizabeth Emery, magna cum laude. I get her too. Heather Ray Timmons. Brooke Sarah Fisher. Nicole Marie Pacapelli. Amanda Elizabeth Hathaway, magna cum laude. Alexa J. Seinfeld, cum laude.
All right,
I got it. Adriana Elizabeth Marino, summa cum laude. Kristen DiGiovanno, summa cum laude.
These your people?
Yeah. Brittany Nicole Giroux.
Can you pronounce that? Navindra Dehal. Julian Andrew Tisson. Haza Salih Al-Akbar. Jacob Michael Callahan. James Alexander Crowell. Can you pronounce that? Zani Imtoski. David O. Gargano. Tia Ray Gosla. Okay, Victoria Ashley Gregory, cum laude. I miss her. Megan Elizabeth Schuster. Where's everybody? No. That's okay. We're gonna wait for you. Tyler Venice Dillard. Diana Isabel Gonzalez. Noel Renovilla Sodelaya, cum laude. God almighty. Charles Edward Brooks. Andrew Michael Timoska. You want to take
David Patrick Janowski. Marina Stephanopoulos. Jennifer Rivera. Jennifer Badette. Tammy Siobhan Davis, cum laude.
Davina Chantella Smith. Gayatan Christine Fatash. Marva Patricia Vernon cum laude. Hey, what's going on? Congratulations, man. Joshua Tong. Lindsay S. Page. Anissa L. Camarillo. Joshua Mukende. Okay. Danielle Casey Urich, magna cum laude. David Joseph De Nicolo, magna cum laude. Jason M. Lewicki. Frank Belaka, cum laude. Did I butcher it?
Alexandria Noel Kirkow, magna cum laude. Ashley Janice Knight. Gabriela Angela Collada.
I got it. Nichelle King. Peyton G. Dickinson.
Amanda Marie Kehoe.
Liana Teixeira, magna cum laude. Corey Fenn.
Erica N. Magnata.
Victoria Raimondi. Sean Allen Thompson. Recover. Jamar Clifford Davis. Michael G. Tardif. Alexis Thayer Kellogg, summa cum laude. Emily Amanda Dean. Melissa Ann McLaughlin, cum laude. McLaughlin. Cindy Raymond. Huh? That's easy. Right. Jasmine Kara Hodge. And then you give this one. Suha Viviana Borges. Not bad. Nachan Wan Uyanan Nan. I tried. Here you go. One deserves another.
Yoon Pei Zhang.
Shihan Lee, cum laude. Monika Mirjewski. Lindsay Rose Hartinson. Alyssa Christine Momsen. Rachel Lynn DeVoe, magna cum laude. Dana Lauren McCormick. Elizabeth Ann Mead, summa cum laude. Melanie E. Nizardo. Jamie Carbonella. April Elizabeth Tryon. Peter DiDonato. Stephen Michael Gentile, magna cum laude. Here you go.
Jessica Lynn Bartolini, cum laude. Tiffany N. Castillo. Courtney R. White, cum laude. Nicole A. Caputo. Chelsea Elizabeth Rowan, magna cum laude.
Matthew Lumpus, cum laude.
Matthew David Scripter, magna cum laude. Heather Marie Schnabel. Sean Mumford.
Sean P. Malone. Joseph Adams, cum laude. Keith Radard Henderson, Jr. Spencer John Poulin, magna cum laude. Casey David Smith, cum laude. Sylvester Maldonado. Okay. David Michael St. Jane. Matthew D. Boyle, cum laude. Jessica Nicole Sklar. Tyler Robert Bliss. Zachary David Russick, cum laude. All right, another one. Joshua D. Welshman, magna cum laude. Shannon Dodo DiCiano. Go ahead.
Jennifer Sorsby, cum laude.
Fato.
Nicole Catherine Fato. Lauren A. McKazing, Pugon. Michael Tinglitella.
Alexander William Generous. Sean Michael Kim. Elizabeth Tigleman Baker.
Thank you.
Danielle Thea Martinez. Alicia Luna Young. Danielle Ann Devagili. Alexandra Lynn Breslin, magna cum laude.
Mercedes Bellum. Haley Rose Madden. Cardalyn Ackus.
Live well.
Shannon Michelle Livewell.
Jessica Leticia Pena. Lauren C. Fernandez. I bet not. Megan Elizabeth Mikowski, magna cum laude. Michelle E. Murphy, magna cum laude. Brianna P. Groves, cum laude. Rebecca Hope Mattis. Megan Renee Hess, cum laude. Christina Nicole Constantinopoulos. Here you go.
Christy Rose Bauer. Deanna Marie DeVivo. Melissa Gaetano. Christian Olivelli, magna cum laude. David Alexander Taylor, cum laude. Joseph Donald Bonnie Tatellis, cum laude.
Give me the degree. Brittany M. Ernst. Jaime. Jamie Elizabeth Roselli. Carly Elizabeth Donardis. Rachel Elizabeth Winston, cum laude. Kelly Elizabeth Gaffney. Maggie Elizabeth Heenan, cum laude. Erica Lauren Irving, summa cum laude. Stephanie Lee McCary, magna cum laude. Jacqueline Isabella. Laban. Paige Nicole Laban. Thank you. Victoria Elise Garcia. Erica Elizabeth Raspanti. I don't know. There you go.
Chelsea Marie Sullivan.
They get easier.
Joshua M. Doyen.
Erica A. Morano, cum laude.
Marissa Helen Smith, cum laude. Andrew Stephen Friedrich. Taylor Jace Watson. Christopher Craig Kerr. Alexander Drake Nunsenzo, summa cum laude.
Max T. Giacconi.
Yeah, Max.
Brian Richard Kopek.
Let's congratulate these graduates.
All right.
Mr. President, as Dean of the College of Business, it's my pleasure to present the individual candidates for their degrees.
Robert J. Campusano. Matthew Richard Ferguson. Ryan Robert McDermott. Matthew E. Roy. Christopher Jonathan O'Brien. Salvatore D. Tommaso, Jr. Christopher Gallietta. Ryan A. Albine. Austin Joseph Galaji. Ming Weng. David Sayamath. Thomas Patrick Sherman. Christopher William Anino, Kyle John McCurry, Shaw Garrison Dutcher, Christopher W. Rustick, Tyler Joseph D'Amore, Douglas Glenn Bradley, magna cum laude, Nikki Bukowski, Scott Castellano, magna cum laude, Lawrence A. Cifarelli III, magna cum laude, Anders S. Johnson, cum laude, Jamie Alyssa Venuti, cum laude, Brandon Charles Caron, Quen P. Lamb, magna cum laude, Ryan E. Griffith, Daniel Robert Brophy, magna cum laude, Katie Marie Bordatz, Jack Newman, Austin Scott Flath, Dylan John Banzerick, Christy Ben Francis, Mahira Kohira, Christopher John Demore, Andrew Johnson, Brandon Joseph Minor, Jeffrey Atkins, Ashanti M. DePass, John Pierce Quinn, Joseph Blaze Pino, cum laude, Christopher Bermudez, Marco Lanzo, cum laude, Dennis Vanalith, Catherine Mary Regatius, Aloysius Dean Bandong, Joseph P. Natale, magna cum laude, Ryan Matthew Levy, Matthew L. LaFerry, magna cum laude, Pedro Jesus Villanueva Murcia, Rachel Ann Isola, Ashley A. Burrell, Carla P. Armstrong, cum laude, Christina Marie Tassi, Cindy Vanessa Ramos, Jasmine Rexford, Sarah L. Ambrose, cum laude, Bridget Colleen McGrath, Vasilius Begaeus, Emily Ann Seller, magna cum laude, Lauren Rebecca Kosovar, cum laude, Richard George Ziegler, Andrew F. Gittin, Amanda Clara D'Alberto, Machiadong Mabai. Jamal James. Jing Zhou. Andrea Papalizio, cum laude. Brian James Bartolotta, cum laude. Christina Lynn Meyerholtz. Christina Janice Marie DeLuca. Heather Lynn Winters. Caitlin Elizabeth Valentino. Brittany Marie Bouzier, cum laude. Lindsay Marie Couturier. Megan Chamoff. Tammy Teresa Vargas. Kenneth Alexander Wyman. Allison Melanie Liberati, magna cum laude. Christopher William Clark. Taylor Simone Lee. Ahmed Saliolu. Caitlin Elizabeth Carnes. Brandon John Roberti. Nicole C. McKee. Marissa R. Fisher. Christopher John Higgins. Brent M. McLeod. James W. Malloy. Hang Zhang. A round of applause from for the graduates of the College of Business.
An enthusiastic crowd is always welcome. We ask that members of the audience remain in their places until the last students have left the theater at the conclusion of the recessional. Before we recess, I want to take a moment to thank our staff and volunteers for their outstanding efforts to make this day so special for our graduates and their families and friends. An event of this magnitude is not possible without the hard work of so many people, and I'm grateful to each of them, especially those who are staffing both ceremonies here today. In particular, I want to thank and recognize Jill Zamparo and Jennifer Fasikas from my office, who are in the Office of University Special Events. Without their tireless efforts over many months, commencement would not run so smoothly. Thank you to both of you. And graduates, since this is the last time I'm going to have your attention until I come after you in a few years and ask you for money again, I'm going to hold my own commencement speech, and it's going to be very brief. The shortest and probably the most engaging commencement speech I know of was given by Woody Allen at NYU when he stood up and said, "We're leaving you a perfect world, don't mess it up." Unfortunately, what he really meant, and it's gotten worse, is we're leaving you a messed up world, fix it. So those are your marching orders as you go out into the world leaving UNH. There's a lot to do, and we entrust the world with you, and we know you'll do good things with it. And now, graduates, as the final act of these ceremonies, to symbolize your rite of passage into the community of scholars, please move the tassel of your mortarboard from right to left. And once again, for those of you who are guests, please remain seated, as well as the graduates, until the stage party is left, followed by the graduates. Graduates, you were pretty enthusiastic during the ceremony. You weren't very enthusiastic just now. Let's hear a big cheer for all of you. Perfect. Congratulations. That's it. You know it's over when the president's leaving and the president's leaving.